Hello everyone and welcome back to another Bookmas video. So I have my cozy cup of tea in my awesome mug. I don't know if you'll see this before this video, but brand new mug. My mom got Dale and I got Chip, so they're so cute, and they have a peppermint handle because they were in a holiday collection. So I was like, we have to get it. I love this mug so much and I haven't even used it yet. Today we're going to be talking about all of my favorite Christmas books. So the first one that I want to talk to you about, I don't read a ton of Christmas books. Like, I don't go out and read like 25 Christmas books in December or throughout the holidays. I usually average about 10 to 15 every year roughly. So these are like the best that I've read within the last couple years, because only the past couple years I've started to read seasonally. But the first one that I want to talk about is a new release for this year. I think it's my only new release this year. And that is A Quilt for Christmas by Melody Carlson. I love this book. All of Melody Carlson's books are super short and such heartwarming and sweet Christmas stories. And this is actually my favorite one that I've read of hers so far. I have a couple on my TBR this year, but this one's going to be tough to beat. So this is about a little girl who ends up knocking on Vera's door. And so she ends up being there and she's lost. Her mother is sick and she doesn't know what to do. So Vera ends up calling the hospital and trying to get her there. And so, but the little girl asks her, because she sees a quilt that Vera made, and she's like, my mom would love that. Can we make her one for Christmas? Well, Christmas is only a couple weeks away, so she doesn't think she can do it. But if she gets the community involved, even though she doesn't know anybody there, if she gets the community involved and trying to get people to help out with the quilt, maybe she can make it happen. But she doesn't think so because she doesn't think anybody will have any free time. But her and the little girl put up posters all throughout town, and lo and behold, they find some wonderful ladies and some not so wonderful ladies to help with the quilt. So this is an adorable, sweet Christmas story. There is very little romance in it. There is some romance, but it's kind of near the end. There's not that much. So a very, very sweet Christmas story, and I love it. All right. So the next one that I'm going to talk about is not a Christmas story, but it kind of just reminds me of a wintry, not really cozy, but just a wintry feeling read. And that is The Ice Swan by Janelle Szalski. And this is one of my favorite books of last year. And this one is in 1917, and Princess Svetlana, she is a Russian princess. Well, when the Bolsheviks take over during that era, her and her family have to flee the country and go to Paris, and her mom and sister are there. And there, she doesn't trust anybody. Like, anybody can be a spy. Anybody could tell on her family that they're from Russia and they are royalty. But then she meets a doctor, and so the doctor is trying to help her because, just because she needs help. But at first she doesn't really want to accept that she needs help. But it's a sweet romance. I love the doctor in here. Wynn, absolutely loved his character. It was really great kind of romance story, but like almost like an enemies to love plot. But yeah, I would say that because she's quite strong-headed for sure, and so I feel like they get at each other's throats a little bit in the beginning, but she does finally warm up a little bit, and that's probably one of the main reasons why it's called The Ice Swan, because she might have a heart of ice a little bit. So she just has a hard time having trust issues, but it's a beautiful story, and she was a ballerina, so she also loves to dance, so there's parts of that in the story as well. And I just thought this was a really great story. I think it takes, it's during the Great War too, so it's kind of like in between both. So yeah, it's really good. I really enjoyed this one. So if you like kind of wartime stories with a little bit of romance, this is a good one. And the cover, yeah, that's a winter cover for sure. All right. Now we go on to the next one. So the next one I want to talk about is A Boy Called Christmas by Matt Haig. And I have not read the rest of the series yet, but number 2 is on my TBR this month. Hopefully I'll get to it. But so this one is the first in a series, and this is all about how Santa Claus becomes Santa Claus. So this boy's name is Nicholas, and he's just living a pretty quiet life with his father, and then something happens, and he needs to travel to the elf kingdom where something's going on, and he has to figure out what's going on. So he ends up befriending a reindeer, which honestly is probably my favorite character in the book. That or the mouse. I think the mouse is in this book too, because I didn't read number 2. There's a mouse in this book too that's really cute, and I don't know why, but I love when an animal kind of has its own personality in a book too. So it's really cute. It's just all about how he meets the elves, how they end up trying to just try to create Santa Claus. And I probably will reread this one just so I can refresh my mind before I start the second book. But I did really enjoy this one. It's a cute middle grade, just about how Santa Claus got his name, and I really enjoyed it. And I also love the covers too. They're really cute, and I love a good middle grade book. I need to find more Christmas middle grades. All right, the next one that I'm going to talk about is another Melody Carlson. There might be 1 or 2 more on this list. But this one is the Christmas Joy Ride, and this is another one of my favorites. And I always forget names, so okay, it is Joy. But Joy is this older woman, and she is retiring and planning on moving to Arizona to move closer to her relatives. But she isn't quite ready to kind of give up the kind of magic of Christmas. She's not ready to just quit and leave and go to a warm state, because she's from like a cold, wintry state. And so Miranda is her neighbor, and Joy ends up telling her, I want to go and take my RV and go to Arizona. Miranda goes, you can't go by yourself in an RV. Like, I'm going with you. Like, you can't go by yourself. So she ends up going with her, but Joy has like a different plan in mind. She ends up blessing people along the way with Christmas cheer and Christmas spirit. And I love the story. It was cute. I love the characters. I think the ending could have turned out a little bit better. I think I would have liked Joy being more in the story at the end, because we do get more of Miranda by the end of the story. So I feel like if we got more Joy, that sounds funny, but if we got more Joy at the end of the story, I think it would have been even better. But it is a cute read, and I really did enjoy this one. And the next one I'm going to talk about is Skipping Christmas by John Grisham. So a lot of you may have read this one. If you haven't, you may have seen the movie that this is based off of. And this is based, the movie is based off of this book. And the movie is Christmas with the Cranks. And if you've seen the movie, then read the book. It's honestly very similar. And I think that's why I liked the book as much as I did, because it does definitely follow the same kind of storyline as the movie. And it's really cute. It's just about this couple, but their daughter ends up being not home for Christmas. So the Cranks, are they called the Cranks in here too? Yeah. The Cranks decide to just skip Christmas. They've been so involved in Christmas every single year. They spend thousands of dollars every year, and they're just kind of tired of it. They're like, you know what? Since our daughter's not going to be home for Christmas, let's go ahead and take a cruise. Let's just take off and have a good Christmas by ourselves. So they end up deciding to plan that. They'll even save money. They're all excited, but then they find out their daughter's coming home for Christmas. And it's only a few days before Christmas. And so they have to hurry and rush and get everything ready in time for their daughter. So I just thought it's a really sweet story. I love it. And kind of seeing like the neighbors, like they're really mad at the Cranks for not having Christmas, because they're pretty much probably the talk of the town during Christmas season, and now they don't want to do it. Like, these people look forward to it every year. So it's kind of funny. I definitely enjoy this one. This is definitely a cute one to read during the Christmas season. So the next one that I want to talk about is another Melody Carlson book, and this one is The Christmas Swap. And this one's really cute. I remember really liking this one. So this is about a girl who just wants to get away for Christmas, and she ends up renting a little house. And there is a man there who's kind of the caretaker, but he's a well-known musician and songwriter. And so he was telling his family that he wanted to kind of swap houses for Christmas. But what the girl who rents the house doesn't know is it's really his house. But he just pretends to be the caretaker. And so it's a really cute romance story. I love this one. I thought this one was so sweet. And just, I love I love that kind of trope in books where like it's like someone in disguise, like they're being somebody else, but then you find out the truth later. Like, yeah, it's lying, but I don't know, I just enjoy those stories about kind of having a different persona, because if she knew that he was like a musician and a famous songwriter, she might not like him as much. Or, you know, if he was just famous, she wouldn't like him for himself. I think that's kind of the type of story that I really like. And so being able to be himself just as a caretaker and getting to know this girl, it's just a sweet Christmas romance, and I love this one. So The Christmas Swap by Melody Carlson is definitely a fun and sweet romance. All right, and then the last one that I'm going to talk about is, I had it upside down. The last one I'm going to talk about is Winter Frost by Michelle Hotz. And this is another middle grade that I absolutely love. This one is really sweet, and a lot of things go on. This is more of a fantasy, or not really a fantasy. It's more of a, I had to move my light. More of a fairy tale, because it's based off of, I know it's based off of Norwegian folklore, I think, or Danish. Yeah, so I think it's like Denmark folklore. And so, yeah, it's Danish Christmas. So during the Christmas season, they're supposed to leave a meal for these little creatures that are supposed to come to the barn at these people's homes. Well, nobody really believes it, but they still leave out, you know, a meal during the Christmas season. Well, one day, the little girl is in charge of her baby sister, and her parents are gone. They had to go somewhere, but she got really tired, and she forgets to leave out food for the little, I think they're gnomes. I don't know if they exactly say what they are. Niece. That's what it is. I couldn't remember the word niece, but they're little gnome creatures called niece, and she forgot to leave out food, and the next day her baby sister's missing. And she has no idea what's going on, who took her baby sister. She has no idea. And so it's a really fun read. I like this one. It definitely has more of like a fairy tale folklore twist to it. And I love this one. I love Winter Frost. So it's very cute. I'm not sure if she wrote any more, because I kind of want to read more by this author, because it was definitely super cute, and I love kind of that folklore feel to it. So definitely check this one out. All right, so those are all the books that I have for today. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss any fun Bookmas videos. It's going to be so much fun. So it is, well, it's not going to be so much fun. It is so much fun. But I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you tomorrow for the next video.